let's get down to the real business of taking care of the people.
We can't have a testimony without a test. And we are being tested whether we have courage enough, conviction enough, people power enough to stand up and do what is right for ourselves and generations yet unborn. Come on. You know, I was talking to a sister who is from West Virginia as I interviewed her yesterday. And she said to me during that interview that in some parts of West Virginia, our sisters and brothers do not have clean water. They don't even have access to the internet. But here we are, in the wealthiest nation on the face of the earth, a nation that can do anything that it puts its mind to do, but yet we sit here and there are folks in our country who do not have clean water. It is a sin and a shame, and it is immoral, and we will not stand for it with these hands. We will. We will rise up.
Hello, Kachina.
Hi.
It's such a pleasure to have you on the Nina Turner Show on the Real News Network. And you are here at the People's Summit 2017 in Chicago. What brings you to the People's Summit?
I'm here today representing the West Virginia Progressive Alliance, which we just started in West Virginia.
And what motivated you to start this alliance, and what are some of the goals?
The one thing that we're lacking in an area that's so rural, like West Virginia, is communication. You know, a major part of our state, in the southern part, the most Appalachian part of the state, they don't even have internet access. So it's
in the
nearly
21st century, you have communities without internet access?
Yes. And so that makes it really difficult to communicate across the entire state and, you know, create the change that we all are looking for. I mean,
and that's a necessity these days. That is not a luxury. When this technology first came out, it was considered a luxury, but you see it as a necessity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, really the only way to reach people who aren't able to have internet is, you know, door to door.
And when you have conversations with some of your neighbors or the people who live in those areas, how are they feeling about the state of things in this country?
They feel abandoned. They feel that not only are they not represented, but they are being ignored, overlooked. There are major parts of the state, especially the places that don't have internet access, that don't even have clean water.
Don't have clean water,
no.
Similar to Flint.
Absolutely.
And so basically, Kachina, what you are identifying is that we have a lot in common, whether you're in an urban area like Flint or whether you're name one of the communities in the parts of West Virginia. Name one of the communities. So what?
Welch.
Welch.
It's in McDowell County.
McDowell County in West Virginia, they don't even have access to clean water in the 21st century.
Yes.
What are some of the goals? I mean, what do you hope that the Alliance is able to achieve? We
want to create a network of communication between all progressive individuals, groups, organizations across the entire state. We believe that, you know, where each person is located, they know the best as far as, you know, what is needed in that area and who to reach out to and who to network to. So we're building a network of communication and also educational resources for people who've never been involved before. So like, how do you talk to a legislator? How do you help write a bill? You know, things like that to help create the change in these rural areas that's desperately needed.
So, and when you say that they feel not represented or forgotten, is that based on party affiliation? I mean, is it Democrats and Republicans? I mean, do they even talk about it in those terms?
Yeah. You know, for 80 years, West Virginia was a blue state. And when all of the, you know, jobs and, the coal industry basically abandoned these people in the southern part of the state, they knew that it was because of the Democratic representation that they had.
Yeah.
And so that's why they all switched to Republican and vote against their best interests, because they feel like the Democrats weren't representing them. And so that's the kind of narrative that we have to change, and show these people that there are progressives out there fighting for them, and that we are wanting them to succeed.
And that's part of the work that you're engaged in. And did I hear you right? You said for 80 years?
80 years.
West Virginia was blue.
Blue.
And over that time, the erosion of the relationship between our sisters and brothers in West Virginia in terms of how the Democratic Party represents them or does not represent them, coupled with the erosion of their quality of life, has driven them to the Republican Party. Well, Katrina, I want to thank you so much for your activism. You are one of the major reasons why the People's Summit exists. And the West Virginia Progressive Alliance, I know you guys are going to do great things. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
The fact that the working poor and barely middle class in this country are not asking for more than what they deserve. They are asking for a hand up, not a hand out. We must change the dynamics in this country. We rise and we fall together with these hands. We will rise up.
Matthias, welcome to the Nina Turner Show on the Real News Network.
Oh, thank you. It's such an honor to be here with you, Nina.
I'm honored that you are here, and we are at the People's Summit.
I know, it's exciting. It's my first one. I wasn't here last year.
Are you enjoying yourself?
Yes, I'm having so good.
What is it about the People's Summit? Why did you come this year?
Well, I've been doing a lot of organizing post-Bernie. I was a Bernie Sanders delegate, and what we started I'm from Dayton, Ohio. What we started there, I started an organization, the Miami Valley Progressive Caucus, which is a 9-county group of building rural and urban, kind of bringing Dayton into itself. And this just seemed like the perfect place to kind of help build that, make connections, networking, build the excitement, get ideas for training, facilitating, the whole thing.
And you decided to take that, and you said that you said it's a 9-county.
Yes.
And you're laser focused, and the other people who helped you organize that on bringing urban and rural together. Why is that important to you?
Well, I think, one, I think there's often been a sharp divide between the city and the country that's not really there. It's sort of imagined.
Okay.
And in the process, the folks in the country get dismissed, and they're sort of set aside. They're not paid attention to. When folks on the left come in to try and help, it's that white knight kind of come in and tell them they're doing it wrong, and this is how you're going to do it. And I'm more interested in bringing a conversation together. Sometimes the city, obviously, because there's more people and there's more money, there's more resources. Yes. So trying to stream those into the rural places to help build up their grassroots efforts, but doing it in a way where it's about mutually equal voices talking to each other. We can't just go in and be Democrats, because there's a lot of identity politics going on with whether we're Democrats or Republicans. It's actually breaking it down to values and one, not getting trapped in using conservative language when we're trying to argue our point, but developing a language.
Can you give me an example? Give us an example of that.
Well, the one that always comes to my mind is, we talk about union collective bargaining rights, right? And the euphemism has been properly branded by the Republicans that it's right to work, right? So when we say right to work is wrong, conservatives don't hear wrong, they hear right to work, and it just reinforces the right to work. So, when you've got, it's very Aristotelian, and A, not A, you still got A there.
Yes.
So it's about rebranding the entire message and coming up with new ways of saying what progressive values are, and doing it in a way that hits people where they're at, hits them in their heart, hits them where their lives are lived.
Yeah,
because that's how we get, make those connections and listen to people.
Bringing people together. So you've taken from the small picture, regional, I should say, not small picture, very big, regional to now statewide, and you are one of the founders of the Ohio Progressive Alliance.
Yes.
What's that about?
Well, so an 88 county strategy, there's 88 counties in Ohio.
Mobilize 88.
Yes, and Mobilize 88, that's going to be our kickoff event, which you're going to be featured at, and we're so excited to have you.
I'm excited too.
So this has been an idea of mine for quite a while, and I've had a number of conversations with a number of different friends, and Portia and I hooked up, and we just started rolling around ideas, and our friend Diana Kaiser came on to, so we're the sort of three core group, and just figuring out how to organize from a structural standpoint, getting people in each county that can be responsible for bringing the grassroots together and strengthening ourselves through alliance and coalition. So what we're hoping to do is, in places where all of these progressive indivisible groups and this, that, and the other have come up, don't try and wipe them out and say, you need to be us. Let them have their institutional identity, but bring coalition together, bring alliances. But in those places where there is no grassroots, help them build it.
Is the goal of the alliance to make sure that you get more progressive candidates elected to fight for progressive causes? I mean, what's the end game? In one sentence, what is the end game of the Ohio Progressive Alliance? And maybe I shouldn't say end game, but what ultimately does the Ohio Progressive Alliance want to see happen?
Well, it states in our mission that we're trying to get strong voting blocs together and get people involved in the political process. And that means, just from regular volunteers to getting people in party precinct captains and recruiting folks to run for office and, getting people to organize, to move it past identity politics so that in certain rural counties, we may have to run a Republican to get a progressive in office. But what's wrong with resurrecting the Eisenhower Republican?
And it is time out, sisters and brothers, for us to, we're not gonna play the games with the folks. We will make this happen. Because if we can send a man to the moon, we can have Medicare for all. If we, a nation that enslaved black folks for 250 years, 100 years of Jim Crow, 50 years of something else, stole the land from our Native American brothers and sisters, if we can abolish slavery, we can have a $15 an hour minimum wage with these hands. And if this nation, as a symbol of the Statue of Liberty, says, bring me your tired masses, but yet we live in a country that is steeped in a type of racism that is insidious, that is in the DNA of America, that we would deny our Hispanic sisters and brothers, our Haitian sisters and brothers, the opportunity to come to this land and make a difference for their families. With these hands, we will rise up. I'm feeling this thing. I just read an article the other day that talked about the prison system in California and the fact that it costs more money to imprison folks, that with that same money we could send folks to Harvard University with these hands. If we can spend $80 billion a year to house folks in prison, my God, why can't we have free college and university in the United States of America with these hands? We will rise up. And we're not gonna leave a sister or a brother behind. Resistance is really good, but we have to take that resistance to action, because anybody can put the problems out.
Anybody can talk about the challenges, but it takes a little more to go deeper and to be able to talk about the collective solutions, the things that will move us to action so that we really get to see and feel the change that is needed to advance our cities, our states, and this nation. If you believe in the mission, subscribe. If you believe in the cause, donate. If you believe in the change that we are pushing here at the Real News Network, we need you to watch and to share The Nina Turner Show.